Ronald Burge Jr. turned himself in yesterday due to the incident here at the police station involving a petite grandmother. Burge happens to be the son of the police chief who believes surveillance video will clear the commander. Dixmoor police released this video linked to the incident on October 5th. A 66-year-old woman using her phone to document the arrest of her grandson is chased by a commander after refusing to give up the phone. According to prosecutors, 31-year-old Ronald Burge Jr. chased her down and purposely slammed her head in the process. The commander is charged with aggravated battery and is out on bond. His father disputes what prosecutors are claiming.
There was a scuffle still going on, and yes, she may have hit her head against the wall. It appears she hit her head against the wall, but it wasn't like he slammed her head against the wall.
A charge of resisting an officer was eventually dropped against the grandmother, who suffered minor injuries to her upper body. The chief says multiple members of the family involved are known to police, and he believes the case is politically motivated.
I am proud of my son. Make no doubt about it. And if I thought that my son did anything wrong or out of order, believe me, as a father, as the chief of police, I would not hesitate to do what I have to do.
In court, prosecutors noted that Burge Jr. not only had his gun drawn, he is a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier than the woman he chased down. As Burge awaits trial, he will remain on desk duty or administrative leave. We're live in Dixmoor. Nancy Liu, WGN
for being
News.
off the leash. We're always investigating, and tonight we're learning one Dixmoor police officer killed a family's dog because it was loose.
The officer claimed it charged him. Witnesses, well, they tell another story. CBS 2's Tara Molina found it's not the first time he's accused of killing 4 dogs.
Dogs he claimed were a risk because they weren't on a leash. So what's the policy here? And is it in line with the county ordinance and state act? I'm asking. This is Coco. Brandy Quinn called her a part of the family.
My dog was like my daughter, a daughter to me.
Other family members were there when a Dixmoor police officer shot and killed her in July.
My son was at home. He heard the first shot. And when he heard the first shot, he came outside, and that's when he saw her in the street.
The police officer who pulled the trigger? Marquise Day. And we found it's not the first time. We formally requested all of the shooting incidents involving dogs in Dixmoor in the past year. They all involve Officer Day, who shot and killed at least 3 other pit bulls since the end of May. We reached him by phone, but he said, call the chief. In his incident reports, all dogs are described as unleashed and aggressive, the same way he described Coco, claiming she charged him, forcing him to shoot. Quinn claims Officer Day was defensive when she followed up with him at the police department.
I said, what is your policy on loose dogs? I would like a copy of it. Under the Freedom of Information Act, I want a copy of your loose dog policy. Well, you need an attorney for that. I said, I do not need an attorney to get the Freedom of Information Act on your policy for loose dogs.
She never got the policy, just a citation for a loose dog. We never got a copy of that policy either, despite our request for the public documents. We did find their last published code of ordinances online. They cite a section of Illinois' Animal Control Act. Neither mentioned shooting loose dogs deemed dangerous by the responding officer. I followed up with the Village of Dixmoor's clerk, administration, and police chief. They still haven't told us exactly what their policy is tonight. And when I showed up here, following up on email and phone call requests, I was given no information. Of course, I'll continue to follow up on this. Reporting in the Village of Dixmoor tonight, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
Village of Dixmoor's president is responding after former police officer Tory Bridgeforth is arrested on child pornography charges. The statement reads in part, Mr. Bridgeforth was terminated in May of last year for reasons unrelated to the current charges against him. The village board and I are committed to maintaining a high standard of conduct for our employees. Mr. Bridgeforth did not meet those standards, and we let him go. Right now, Tory Bridgeforth is being held on $1 million bond. He's facing multiple felony charges, and his next court date is set for Tuesday. Bridgeforth worked for the Dixmoor Police Department from 2021 to 2022 and the Robbins Police Department.
Jeremy Ross reporting from just outside of Dixmoor, where there was a news conference held earlier today. Investigators telling us that their investigation is indeed expanding. They are bringing in additional agencies. They are also talking to at least one elected official in the area. They are saying that that person may have been in some way, shape, or form financially linked with the now closed down business, and they are also saying that there could be one additional business in nearby Harvey that is linked to their ongoing investigation. They are telling us that overall approximately a half dozen people are under investigation for links to these businesses that had to do with a mental health facility that was evacuated for, in the words of the police, terrible conditions.
The attorney's office was not truthful in what happened.
Hey, whoa. Give me your phone. Take that. Give me your phone, guys. You want to arrest?
Dixmoor Police Chief Ronald Burge Sr. releasing this video showing 66-year-old Carla Bourgeois entering a secured area of the Dixmoor Police Station with her cell phone out. You can hear police tell her that she's under arrest. Her grandson was in custody and she was there to see him. At that point, video shows her running from the station, and giving chase is Commander Ronald Burgess Jr. He's the police chief's son.
While he was trying to take her into custody, she's shorter than he is. She grabbed him in his private parts and refused to let go. At that point, he picked her up.
Hit my head against the brick outside the village. He then took me inside the village hall and he bumped my head several times.
The chief didn't release the rest of the video, but prosecutors say Burgess Jr. grabbed the 66-year-old and dragged her by the neck and chest back into the station, slamming her head against a wall at least 3 times. She took these photos of herself from the October incident.
He was attempting to hold her against the wall. He had his arm on the wall, her there. Her head never hit the wall, if that's what they're talking about.
Bourgeois says the commander chased her after demanding she give her phone.
I was going to lose it. I thought I was going to pass out.
They have a background. So grandmothers, grandfathers, and anybody else, in my opinion, can be considered thugs too. Just because you're a certain age does not mean that you don't believe and do.
I am not a thug. I am a very professional woman. I go to work every day and I take care of my family. And I don't need anybody to disgrace me as my character.
New allegations of misconduct against the South Suburban Dixmoor police commander, who's already facing aggravated battery charges.
WGN's Julian Cruz is at the criminal courts building with news of another potential victim. Julian.
Micah, the police commander in question, already accused of dragging a 66-year-old grandmother through a police station parking lot earlier this month. Now the same Dixmoor police commander is facing new accusations, this time by another South Suburban citizen, accusations of misconduct.
I don't understand why they don't see this. It's an issue with this guy.
Rumon Terry describing his 2019 encounter with Ronald Burge Jr., the South Suburban Dixmoor police commander, already facing criminal charges for allegedly chasing down 66-year-old Carla Bourgeois. The recent incident captured on police department surveillance cameras. Cook County prosecutors accusing the 6'3", 230-pound Burge of slamming Bourgeois' head into a wall.
I got to go to court Friday dealing with this guy.
Now it's Rumon Terry raising questions about what he says was an excessive use of force back in 2019 outside a Dixmoor cell phone store.
I'm still on the phone. He swings and hits me with the hand because he had the handcuffs in his hand. He swings and hits me and knocked the phone out my hand.
Terry describing his harrowing encounter with Commander Burge, a situation that escalated from words in a Dixmoor parking lot to an arrest for allegedly blocking a loading zone and being a public nuisance.
The public nuisance ticket, I don't even understand what that was. I never was disrespectful to the officer, but I did have words back and forth with him, asking him, why is he trying to tow my car?
Both Terry and his nephew were arrested for no valid reason, they say.
I ended up having to pay like $800 and some odd to get my car back.
And Terry faced with fines and lost time from work going to court to fight the charges.
My client is he's going to plead not guilty.
Burge's lawyer, Robert Willis, at the Layton Criminal Courts building today, taking few questions from reporters. The Dixmoor officer going before a Cook County judge today for the case involving the 66-year-old woman.
I am very proud of my son.
Burge's father, Dixmoor's police chief, Ronald Burge Sr., earlier this month defending his son, telling reporters that there's more to the story. But Police Chief Burge not answering our questions today. Terry says that he and his nephew went to the Cook County Jail. They spent a couple of nights here at the jail on what they say was a bogus and unwarranted arrest. At the Layton Criminal Courts building, Julian Cruz, WG.
Of residents in suburban Dixmoor falls solely on this man tonight. He's the chief of police there. No other officers are on duty. The chief blames the village board for a hiring freeze. One of the 6 officers in the department is also recovering from COVID-19. If there is an emergency, the chief says he will respond, as well as the Cook County Sheriff's Department.